welcome back to Adobe Live. My name is Julia Masalska, and I'm here with the super talented Doc Reed. Welcome back, Doc. Good to have you here again on day 2.
Good being back.
Welcome everybody in the chat. Paco, good to have you here. Vuduval, Rupendra, Stone, Diego, Arab Z. Welcome everybody. Juan, good to have you here. So, you guys, today we're gonna be continuing on working on the
Andrew's
portrait illustrations, right? So today we're gonna go into depth with the layers, right?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about layers and putting some texture in it. Maybe do a little bit of overlaying with possibly an eagle if the chat thinks that's a good idea. But yeah. Just going to be continuing to develop that. Possibly if we finish this up, start on one of the other images as well, try something a little different.
Awesome. Yeah, super exciting, so stay tuned. And in 30 minutes, you'll be able to win some super cool Sticker Mule stickers, 100 of those, so it's gonna be fun, and then you can make cool stuff like Doc made here with the high.
Kinds of stickers.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love stickers?
Yeah, right? So, and in about 1.5 hours, we'll be reviewing some of your Daily Creative Challenge submissions. And let's take a look at the page, behance.net/challenge/Photoshop. This is where you can submit your Daily Creative Challenge. And here you can see the exact description, how does it work. You can join the community chat, and then you can also post your work on Discord, where we will be reviewing the work later on. And here you can see the challenges. So the challenge of today is layer masks, replace the background and alter the mood of an image using layer masks. So Caitlin already gave an introduction to this, and maybe we can also give you a couple tips today, on how to merge the layers, or how to work with layers.
Yeah. Be a little different with Fresco, but there's a lot of similarities that we can talk about.
Yeah, and also feel free to submit your work in Fresco as well. Why not? I mean, that would be also cool to see.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So also, if you guys haven't joined us yesterday, make sure to view the yesterday's session on the replays, and make sure to follow Doc on his social media. So I have here his Instagram page. As you can see, he has a lot of very exciting work. Very cool. I love the colors here. This is super cool.
Thanks. A lot of that is due to the masterminds here at Adobe and their color swatches. So.
Oh, nice. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, make sure to follow Doc here. I'm Redicus on Instagram. You can also follow me. My name is Just Another Sunny Girl on Instagram. And then this is Doc's Behance. As you can see, there is a couple more different projects, which are also very interesting to take a look at. And this is Doc's website, imredicus.com. And here's even more super cool work. Oh, I love that. This is nice.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Started out doing a lot of screen printing talk yesterday, and there's some of that is up on the site, so you can see some. The thermals poster is sort of what was looking at trying to do with the cyan and the magenta overprinting to make a third color. So. Oh
yeah, that is cool. Oh yeah, I can see that here. Yeah.
But.
Oh, this is awesome. So you're printing those at home as well?
Yep. That was one of those happy accidents that you do. I overprinted the red and got that real vibrant purple, and I was hooked from day one. So.
Nice. Yeah, it's always the first experience kind of makes the path, right? If you have a good experience, you kind of feel encouraged to continue and to work on your skill. Awesome. So cool to have you all guys here. Tom, welcome. Jeff, Stone.
Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in.
Renee. Let us know where you're watching from. Maybe we can talk about, Renee's from France. That's cool.
Got some Miami Beach and Bermuda in there.
Yeah.
Right on.
Cool. All right, guys, let's jump right into it and get going with wonderful portraits of Andrew.
Andrew. So if you missed yesterday, there's a couple ways that you can bring images in if you're wanting to, like the sketch here of Andrew. You can bring it in here by touching the icon, for lack of a better word. Well, not the camera, but pull up your camera roll, you can do that. Or what I did here was pull up, of course it's gonna give me trouble now, pull up the photo app and then slide it up and then just pull it over to one or the other side.
Ooh.
And then you can adjust how much of the portrait, how much of the app you want to be messing with. So with that, I found some textures that I'd like to possibly bring in and play with. Here, let's see.
Oh, Andrew has joined us. Welcome back to the chat, Andrew. So good to have you here. Yes. Checking in live from the brand new conference in Vegas.
Yes. Cool. That'll be fun.
Awesome. And all guys here from Austria, Dominic from Germany, Tanya is from the UK, Mark is from Bermuda. Wow, I love that. We have our wonderful international community here.
Yes.
Larissa from Brazil. Hi, Michael. Cool.
So yeah, you can, these are just PNGs that I exported from Illustrator, just doing an export with the selection and then saving them, airdropping them to my iPad, and then being able to just pick them up, drop them in, and whatnot.
Nice. So you just take the PNGs without the background, so you can just move them around.
Yep. That way we can hit the wrong layer. Let's see, where did that go? Okay, here we go. That way you can put it anywhere you want. That, and also with it being a PNG, we can play with the multiply.
That is cool.
So if we put everything on in the red group or whatnot, it'll keep it all together. That way when we go to, like if we're doing the screen printing, we can just export all of the red.
That is cool. I have seen the same thing being done in XD as well. It's also possible to multiply layers now. So
awesome.
Also very exciting. I think it's a very new thing right now.
All right, so yesterday, real quick recap. We were working with these, primarily the blue and the red from Andrew's campaign. And after yesterday's session, I went in and did a couple of alterations just
wow, I love that.
To check some things out. If I like I did like how we had the sort of knocked out his suit jacket as just a sheer white shape that let it focus in more on his face and in the portrait, as opposed to trying to over render the jacket. And so first I'll go through some of those layers and putting in some stars and some other elements from his original campaign and whatnot. So we'll be going through, and this, I'm working through nested layers here. Basically the way that you do that is you can click and then just sort of hold it, it'll merge it, and double click, it opens up the secondary layers. If you were to do that again, then you've got nested layers and nested layers, and you ungroup those right here.
So basically you click on a group and then it shows the nested layers.
Yep.
Cool. Andrew is saying, holy eagles, that is awesome.
Speaking of eagles, what do you guys think about dropping in an eagle?
Yeah.
Simplifying the background a little bit, maybe having an overlay eagle. I don't know. It's in there. I had the thought last evening, this morning, so we may try to make that work.
That would be cool.
So, all right. So we'll jump right in. I'll turn off the red layer. So here's sort of the isolated blue layer, and here is the isolated red layers. So you can sort of see where the overprinting helps add that depth in the shadows here, especially like in the chin area and in the mustache. It just adds a little bit of extra depth, and you can get that again by the overprinting. So what I figured it would do is I'd show you some of that, and then we'll add some textures in the background to get rid of some of these clean lines here between the colors. Just rough them up a little bit and get a little bit of grit and nastiness.
Nastiness.
Nasty. All right,
Yeah,
so.
as we have seen Andrew's campaign, there's a lot of overlays, and he loves to play with texture, and so I think that will work perfectly.
Yes. So first off, what I'm going to do is take some of these, since we've got some of the texture worked out in the face area, I'm going to focus here on the lapel, blue and stripe sections. So a couple of ways that we can do that is click on the layer and do a create empty mask. That is a pixel or a vector layer that I created, so I'm going to convert it so that I can add some texture to it. So here we go. There's so many brushes to choose from.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to kick the eagle off for a second while we do this. But so once I got that, create the empty mask, convert. So this right here, down here at the bottom, you can either draw to reveal or draw to hide. So right now, since I'm wanting to basically erase or hide I'm gonna leave it there on the hide selection, and we'll just go ahead and get in. Of course, let's see. Why is that not working? Maybe I have it set to multiply.
Are we on the right layer?
I think so.
Kyle is saying, I love the overprinted look, especially in screen printing.
Yes.
Yeah. Doc is a professional in screen printing, so that's probably the reason why you kind of play with that as well, because you can imagine how it is when you print it, right?
Can I unplug this and plug, just to make sure that it's connected to Bluetooth? I think it may have paired with my phone while I was trying to give it a little bit extra juice a second ago. So let's see if this fixes that problem.
I also have a pencil if you like.
Let me just put it on another layer and see if we are... Okay, we're back.
Yay.
Cool.
Rapendra is saying, I'm really excited to see the final result. Yeah, me too.
All right, there we go. I wonder if it, you know what, I bet you it was because I had white selected instead of black.
Okay.
But, so yeah, basically I'm taking in and I'm gonna rough up a lot of these lines just to have them be more in line with his campaign.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Cool. Stone is saying, thanks for the tip, just downloaded Fresco, Doc.
Right on.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's a really cool app, especially if you want to like sketch when you're on mobile and even at your office.
If you guys want to, like, Kyle Webster is constantly drawing it, and I love seeing his posts when he'll post a drawing on Fresco. He's like, another plane drawing, another plane drawing.
Yeah. And then you can also post a timeline, so a video of how the process was, right?
Yes. So, and this again, just roughing it up, adding some grid in there.
That's cool.
And let's see, I'm gonna switch over to the blue. Whoops.
Kyle is saying my day job is with a screen printing company, and we don't do this style as much as we should.
See if you can get a job in there and play after hours around on the presses or something. I've had the opportunity to jump in, do some things after hours that benefited myself and the company in the past, so might be something to either talk about with your boss, just to sort of showcase the work that you guys want to be able to be getting in the future.
True.
All right. So I know yesterday with putting this in here, what I'm going to do today, just to sort of ramp up the campaign aesthetics and things of that nature, I'm going to pull in some of the stars that Andrew had done in his campaign with textures with you back a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So we're going to get him a customized suit. So we'll put some stars up here on his collar.
Yay. Kyle is saying, challenge accepted.
All right. That's what I like to hear. All right. put delete that and start another one. There we go. So yeah, and this, Andrew did a fantastic job sort of pulling in like brand elements and assets and things of that nature back a couple weeks ago in his stream. And so really, I'm just sort of taking those assets, building out some more elements and brand, seeing how they could live outside of just sort of, here's some do's and don'ts, here's some ideas, and then taking them, making them a little bit different, and applying them across several different platforms. So.
Yeah, and that's what you usually have to do if you work with brand guidelines. You take the like the things, the assets that the client gives you, and then you work with those to create something new.
And a lot of times, it's difficult. I will say that, like, because you want to be faithful to the brand guidelines, and you don't want to go off into your own world type of thing. But it is important to be able to take those elements and partner them with ideas that are at the foundation of the company type of thing, and being able to expand on them a little bit more. So
true.
And sometimes you get pushback, sometimes you get like, this is amazing, would have never thought to do this. So.
And sometimes brand guidelines are not as defined, so you kind of have a little bit of room, to kind of modify it to what you think would be better.
And a lot of that, in my past experience with it, you can't necessarily go in guns blazing, like, this is what you're gonna do, whether you like it or not. If you're like me, when people come at you like that, you get a little bit like, nah, I'm good. So if you take the approach of being a better partner and explaining why you're thinking the things that you're thinking, how it'll benefit them and their brand and whatnot, I think everyone gets on board a lot quicker, and there's a lot more freedom given to being able to talk about the goals and what you're wanting to do with the brand. So
I agree.
Has anybody in the chat had experience with being able to talk a client into an idea that way?
Yeah, let us know. Yeah, I think when I do that, for example, when I work with a client and I think there could be something made better, so I do what they ask me to do, but then I also suggest them the alternative that I think might be interesting for them to see. Sometimes it's important to visualize something, to be able to imagine it when it's done. So yeah.
And a lot of times, I'm not saying that all clients have a problem visualizing. As designers and creatives and things of that nature, we live with an idea and we process it in our brains for weeks sometimes. And then when we get to the pitching stage of like, here's what I think the next steps for your brand are, we've lived with them for so long, it makes complete sense, and we leave out steps. So I think we as creatives do our clients a disservice sometimes by assuming that they can read our minds as opposed to walking them through the process much better.
Very important, I agree.
And that's something that I've learned the hard way a couple times over the years. Like, this was a rock solid idea. I don't understand why they didn't get in on it. And then a lot of times with that, you get the clients are the worst. I hate working with clients sort of talk coming from the design community, and that doesn't necessarily do anything for anybody.
True. Voodoo Val is also saying, I do what the client wants, and then I send them my own idea too, so they can see them side by side. They usually choose her idea.
Excellent
I agree.
Idea.
Happens to me as well.
Now, do you work up several different ideas, Voodoo Val, or is it just sort of your ideas, the far out, left field sort of concept? This, you say you want to be edgy and push things, but then they'll sort of have a safe option that do you do that, or do you just present what they want and then what you think would be the better solution?
Yeah. Carbon is saying, yes, feels like half the work is pitching the idea to your client.
Yes.
Yeah, you
That's very
definitely
true,
need
Corbin.
to learn psychology and negotiation and all those things. There's really good books on that.
What are some of them?
So on Audible, you can see, I think, Don't Split the Difference is a really good book on negotiation.
Okay.
Or Never Split the Difference. You'll find it. Just put Split the Difference
All right.
on Audible. I have a subscription. I think it's really useful to listen to books. Sometimes I listen to them while I work, you know. And those are usually topics that don't necessarily have to do with design specifically, but for example, with psychology or with communication, you know, with business. So I kind of try to develop this other side of, you know, being a creative, because part of being a freelance designer is being a business person, right?
Okay.
So I think that's very important. Being able to communicate your ideas, your thoughts in the right way, not being pushy, because you can have a great idea, but by being pushy, you kind of push the client away by not having them on board and not supporting, kind of, they don't have the feeling that you're supporting their interest, you know?
That can get real tricky.
Yeah. So Wuruval is saying 3 is a good number, so as not to overwhelm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very much so.
true. Justin is saying also no more than 3.
And I know a lot of studios subscribe to several different ways of how they will do that. I know a lot of them will present until the client's happy. And I think there's an argument for that, but there's also a case for making sure that you provide the best solution, is sort of where you go from hourly-based pricing to value-based pricing type of a thing. Mm-hmm. That's a whole other discussion I'm still trying to catch up on.
Yeah, I stopped working hourly.
Yeah?
Yeah, just
Has
a
it
couple
been
months
beneficial?
ago. Yes, because sometimes I'm leaving myself some time to think about things.
Okay.
But I don't necessarily produce that much. But when I produce something, it's always like good stuff. And then I pitch them 3. For example, if it's a logo design, I pitch them 3 ideas, and then there's usually something they like, and I do a second revision based on the first decision.
Okay.
So I stopped taking so much time on making, like, I don't know, hundreds of variations of something, you know?
Yes.
I just start off with an idea, with a concept, and usually my concept is not just a visual concept. It kind of, like, you know, has the brand's interests, you know, in it, the client that they want to speak to, and the message that they want to, you know, send. So I try to understand really hard in the beginning what the client really wants and needs, and then from there I kind of try to figure out the way where we can get to his perfect solution, you know.
Right on. So
yeah.
For those who were wondering why I was filling that with a black layer, I basically was trying to figure out why I was having an issue with not having I was having trouble with a white spot down here in the bottom right corner, and it turns out I had a white layer that was turned on.
Oh.
Thought it was on my red layer, but it wasn't, so I had to figure out where
which
that
layer it was. Yeah.
So a lot of times I'll make a layer underneath that is just a color that's not in the color palette, so I can figure out where it is. So that's what that was. That was just me trying to hunt and find what I needed to turn off. So that was this layer right here.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah.
Also, when you're trying to pitch an idea, you never say it's good or bad. You don't, you don't argument like that. You argument more like in the interest of the client.
Mm-hmm.
You say, for example, it is beneficial for you to use this and this color because it will speak to this and this audience, or something like that. You try to give it a reason that, like, is not in your personal interest, but in the
client's best interest.
Yeah, client's interest.
Yes.
Yeah, so business, is a big thing, and psychology is a big thing. Hi, Julie, welcome. Nasi Talka.
Hey.
Hi.
That's my wife.
Oh, cool.
Hey.
I thought so. I thought the last name sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Welcome. Good to have you here. Yay.
So, does this count as the kids' art class for the day?
Yeah, it's never too early to start, huh?
Nope.
Learning.
Nope.
And we have only 3.5 minutes until chat and win, so
Oh,
you guys
man,
stay
that went
tuned.
quick.
We have plenty of time after,
Okay.
so don't worry.
Good. I feel like I'm moving a little slower today.
It's okay. It's fine. You're getting into the details,
Yes. I was going to say, I know yesterday I tried very hard to not get into the details because I will get just,
Yeah.
I will start to drown in them if I'm not careful, so.
Yeah. Yeah, Felipa, looks like you're participating in Inktober. Do you?
I do. It's been a while. As I say, just with life and schedules and stuff like that, I was able to do it a couple of years ago. I got 20 days in, and then I had to bail out the last 11, so.
Yeah. I have a couple posts on Inktober. I think like 2 or 3,
It's
not many.
so much fun. I love Jake
fun,
Parker and just the whole idea, the premise behind it of just continuing to do it and getting
totally.
in there, getting better every day.
Or like a poster a day, or yeah, there's a bunch of other things that you can participate in. Lettering, Home Sweet Home, gives homework every day. I think every day, no, once a week. Once a week, and then you can submit your artwork. So yeah, there's a lot of creative stuff happening on Instagram and on Behance, of course.
Yes. And with the layers in Fresco, one of the things I'm still getting used to is the swiping left and right, as opposed to double tapping. Like to get into the group. To get into the group, you double tap. To get into the mask, you swipe.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Cool. Well, it's good to have different gestures so you kind of know what you're doing.
Yes.
Felipa is saying she's doing digital Inktober.
Very cool.
Same here. Voodoo Val is saying, I'm a little behind on Inktober, but I'm farther along than I've ever come.
Right
Working
on.
on day 14 today, so I have a few to do, but I'm proud of myself. Yay! That's awesome. We're proud of you too.
Yes. I was gonna say that I love the color palette that Voodoo Val has sort of stuck to with the black, red, and white. It's been really fun to watch what you've been able to create with the limited color palettes.
Yeah, that was nice.
Say that's one of those constraints I know a lot of designers tend to, well, I complained about them early on in my career. It's just like, oh, there's so many constraints and I want to do X, Y, and Z and I can't do that. It wasn't till I got into it a little bit more, I realized constraints actually give you, it challenges you to think. And so when I realized that what I was complaining about was the fact that I had to think, I realized I was the problem. And so...
You're making me think. Stop making me think.
Exactly. It's like, I don't want to think. I just want to do this idea. And you're stupid for not wanting to do it as well. And again, a little bit of growing up that had to be done.
Yeah.
But that's the good thing. You can learn from your mistakes and share how you got over it, overcame the problem, solved the solution for the client.
And we have a chat win, guys. So
All right.
type anything into the chat and you can win 100 Stickle Muse stickers, and we'll be right back with you.
All right.
Hey, the fireworks! Type anything into the chat. Type.
Mule.
Mule. Animal. Mule. Okay, 1,
Lots
2, 3.
of numbers.
0, yeah.
Gimme. Nice. Okay, mule. Sticker mule.
Oh,
Duh.
yeah.
It's like,
Makes
where
sense.
are all the animals coming from?
Chicken.
Right on.
Delicious.
Lots of half letters. X. Andrew's just randomly mashing letters on the keyboard. I love it.
D, F, G, I, K, L. Oh, it's gonna be the whole alphabet, huh?
Yeah. Are you doing keyboards?
Yay! And Justin Hawks,
Right on.
congratulations!
Congrats.
You're gonna get a message shortly on Behance, so stay tuned. A member of our team will get in touch with you, and you won 100 Sticker Mule stickers. I think it's 3x3 inch die cut, so it's gonna be fun. You can do fun things like this high logo that Doc has designed. Amazing. And for all of you guys who haven't won, you can still go to stickermule.com/AdobeLife19.
Yes.
And you can buy 10 Sticker Mule stickers for only $1. So,
Yep.
free delivery. I ordered mine as well recently, so that was cool. Have fun with it.
I know yesterday we talked too about the hack where you can up the quantity and still take advantage of that.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they're also doing a circle sticker deal currently.
Oh, okay.
So I think that you can get
Yeah.
an additional discount by having multiple
Yeah,
multiple
I
products.
remember when I first ordered, I got a subscription for like newsletters.
Okay.
And then you always get the deals that they have, so there's always something happening every month, I think, or every week. There is some kind of action.
Yes.
Cool.
They do make good stickers. They do make good hot sauce too.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm a sucker for something new and wanting to try it out. So I ended up picking up a bottle, and it's been incorporated into our cooking. You know,
Nice.
just to spice some things up.
I think it's really cool how like a company that actually produces print materials has an own sauce. I
Yeah.
think that's pretty funny. And
They like
cool.
having fun with their brand, which I enjoy.
Yeah.
Interacting with brands that like to have fun.
Exactly. I think it's very inspiring, and you want to be inspired on a daily basis. So you kind of like, you stick to those brands.
Yes.
Really cool. Love that.
I'm gonna turn back on the blue layer just so I can see or get a better feel for what is happening. What is
Justin
being-
is saying, I think the algorithm likes when I open up and reveal my true self in the comments for the
Chat and win?
for the chat and win, yeah. That is funny. Write your secrets, and maybe the algorithm will pick you next time.
And one of the things I'll like to do with my mark making, you can sort of see here in the scribbles to help define the shadows. I learned this doing printmaking, linoleum cuts and wood cuts, where if you were to just draw, here I'm gonna put on a new layer real quick. If you were to just sort of shade like up and down like this, what you're missing out on is the planes of the face, as opposed to being able to curve around for the brow and things of that nature. So that's something that once it was brought to my attention that I was failing to do to help add volume to my pieces, I added that to the things that I needed to continually do in my work. So that's why some of these lines are going all over the place, different directions. They're trying to give or assign volume to the face.
Yeah. Yeah, I think lines can really determine the three-dimensionality, right?
Yeah. Definitely helps, for sure. Selling volume and things of that nature, so.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you have like lines that cross, and then you can see like how the shape forms
Yes.
to the back. Yeah, Alberto is saying hatching and cross-hatching.
Yes.
That's the term for this.
Yes. I'm gonna raise this up just a bit.
Yeah. Voodooval is asking, so Doc,
Yes.
who are some artists who inspire you?
Oh man. One of the best projects that I ever set out to do was to do like my visual heritage and sort of figure out who my art family tree was.
Ah.
That was a fun fun assignment that I gave myself. I would highly encourage you. And basically what that is start with designers, illustrators that are alive today that you've been looking to. Either, like for me, it was Sterling Hundley and Joe Soren and Kent Williams that I discovered in college, and then sort of research who inspired them. Like Kent Williams was a big fan of Baron Story and Bob Peak, who were phenomenal illustrators. Bob Peak, if you were familiar with the original Apocalypse Now movie poster, that's Bob Peak.
Okay, let's look it up.
Yes.
What was the name again?
Bob Peak, P-E-A-K. It's really, really fun, Val, to be able to build that out.
Bob Peak. Okay. Like this?
Drop the E at the end. Yeah, you can just pick that one right there.
Okay. There we go.
He's a phenomenal painter, illustrator. Always partial to the humor and wit, but also the emotional qualities of Norman Rockwell's work. And huge storyteller, Norman Rockwell.
Let's take a look at the at my screen real quick to see these illustrations that you're talking about. So which one would be the best to pick?
That top left one is the Apocalypse.
This one?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at it.
I mean, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's really
way
cool.
better than any of the photo collage movie posters that we get nowadays. There's just
and there is no text. It's just
there is that probably is just the
okay.
original. That one
This
underneath
one, right?
it. That's like the
mind.
art of shoot. Are there not any in the related images?
Oh, maybe this one?
Yeah, there you go. So that was sort of the movie poster. The title block looks like it's been altered, but yeah.
Wow, love that. That's interesting.
What type of are you looking for? Like designers or illustrators, Val? With people that I like, because I've got a design family tree and an illustrations family tree, like House Industries, phenomenal. And they are in that realm of designers and illustrators that just do some amazing work. They're into the hot rod scene, which I like muscle cars as well. So there's a little bit of overlap in things that we love.
I like that too. That's pretty cool.
And trying to think some other illustrators. David Carson was early on a designer that I absolutely loved from a standpoint of not following the rules. Like going through college was all about the grid, and I didn't understand the grid. And then I found David Carson, and it basically was like, he doesn't give a flip about the grid. His typography's all over the place.
I think the things we learn in school help start off, help to try and understand how this whole thing is, what the rules are. But
Yes.
but the great work starts when you stop, following the rules and actually start doing your own thing.
Yes, 100%.
So, yeah. I've opened House Industries right now. Do you think there would be something we could take a look at?
Oh man, here, hit that one. That one shows a little bit of everything.
Oh yeah,
that's
the hot rod that you were mentioning.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. They do fantastic, and a lot of their work is all analog still.
Oh, like here, right?
Yeah, it's
Wow.
all pen and ink. Brushwork's amazing. True artisans, if you ask me.
Cool. I love that. Yeah, and if you're looking for inspiration for lettering, for example, I think you can really look to the different eras of print and look into the past.
Yes, 100%. Don't get stuck in one era for sure.
Yeah.
Like there's so much out there that has been done before that just gets a lot of times just buried, and it takes a little bit of just getting out and looking for it, finding something new, figuring out a new way to apply it to work that you're currently working on. So
Cool. Nasitalka is saying it's always first to know the rules to break them.
Yes, definitely helps, for sure.
Yeah, true. Yeah, if we think of the big designers, all of them kind of broke the rules, and that's the reason why they got the attention that they got, right? Because they were different. If everybody would follow the rules, then it would be boring.
Yes. And again, going back in, sort of setting it up so that I could push some of the darks. You see it here. Just by adding the red in the eyeball, pupil, and iris, it just helps give a little bit extra depth. And the spectral highlight, I think is what that is called, in the eye. Part of my favorite thing about drawing eyes is putting that in there.
Looks very realistic now. Even though it's very minimal touch, like you barely put any details in it, but it already looks kind of realistic.
It just helps it come to life a little bit.
Mm-hmm. And get some depth, there is this very dark iris center, and then you have this light that's falling on top. It creates this three-dimensionality of the eye.
Yeah.
Amazing. Tima, welcome back. Meow meow, everyone. Hi from planet Mars.
Planet Mars, yes.
Tima definitely lives on planet Mars. Cool. Andrew is saying, side note, this photography is by Alex Casillas.
Yes.
His work is awesome if you all want to follow. Yeah, Andrew, send us the link in the chat to his Instagram or whatever site so that the others can check him out.
Yes. I think it's Alex_Casella.
Yeah, let's see.
At least that was the link that I put in the presentation yesterday. Hopefully I linked it to the right account.
Let's see. Awesome. This is looking really good. Oh yeah, there we go. Thanks, Vuduval. AlexCasillasphotography.com is the website. And I think I might have found... Might. Is that him? You want to check real quick?
Yes, I think that's him.
So you guys, this is the Instagram page of Alex Casillas. Check it out.
Fantastic.
Wonderful, fantastic photography. Very experimental. I love the play with lights here. And it all has some kind of very similar mood, kind of blurred out, very contrasty. Black and white and some color. Amazing. I love this. This is really cool. Yay.
Also, one of the things that I like, especially with these rake brushes that you can do, back to talking about drawing with the planes of the face, with these rake brushes, basically you can get the look of a bunch of different hairs in Andrew's mustache simply by with the rake. They give you several different lines that are compact together and will follow the stroke that you put down. So
that's so cool. It really is very time saving because you don't have to make 10 lines, you just make one.
Yep.
And all the strokes go the same way, so yeah, cool.
And again, Kyle's outdone himself by having several types of brushes, or several types of rakes that you can play with.
Where did you get the brushes from?
A lot of these come from they're preloaded. Some of them, if you have the Creative Cloud, they're loaded in Fresco, and if not, then we can go to the little plus icon, get more brushes, and it'll take you similarly to
the
if
stock,
you've got
or
Photoshop, and you can load more brushes
the fonts.
that way. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really easy, and then you can just activate the brushes, and they'll get activated as well in Adobe Sketch as well as in Fresco.
And one thing that you can do, Fresco will automatically import projects from Sketch and Draw if it detects it on your tablet, which is super helpful. So you can basically, it'll port over everything that you've done. There's a little bit of work that you need to do. Once you get in them, it'll pull them up in project folders. So if you've got them linked or grouped in Draw in folders, it'll port those over. So then you just have to rename them type of thing. But a lot of the heavy lifting is already done for you, which is
That is
nice.
awesome. And that's why we love Adobe apps so much, because it's just, everything is just so interlinked and makes work really easy.
Yes.
And fast. Felipa is saying Fresco means fresh in Portugal.
Huh.
I think it's a Spanish word too, fresco.
So like a fresh take, like a hot take?
Oh yeah, Alberto is saying same in Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. All fresh here.
24/7.
Yeah. Fresh, shining.
Val, Voodoo Val, who are some of your favorite illustrators that inspire you, get you going, challenge you to try new things?
Or any of you guys, if you have anyone that you really find inspiring and admire them, let us know in the chat.
I always love finding new artists to learn from.
Yeah, definitely. I really like looking into different other countries, you know, to see how design is evolving in different places. I feel like in Russia, illustration and type design has been really big as well.
Yeah.
Also, if you consider the way they have their Cyrillic, the Cyrillic alphabet is different. So they kind of have their own type of, you know, typography, design. But there is also very much interconnections between the way the American design works and the design there as well. So that's really... Oh yeah, in Greek, it's also fresh? Wow. Vandam. Thanks for letting us know. Philippa is saying Joanna Neves. Would love to see that. Let me see if I can find it.
Trying to find a super crisp inking brush.
And Voodooval is also saying Frazetta, Laurel D. Austin,
Frazetta,
Jody Muir, and Brom.
One of the cool things I learned recently about Frank Frazetta, I'm assuming that's who you're talking about. That's what comes to mind when I hear Frazetta, is that he would verbally critique himself. Like when he was working on a piece, he's like, the eye's not right, or this left arm, you know, is hanging too low, or he would visually talk through his critiques. That way he knew exactly why he was making the decisions.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I love to do that as well, because you don't really need nobody to critique you. You can critique yourself just well enough, right? Yeah. But you have to be able to do that, not to stick to your work, you know, as a of course it's your baby in the way, it's your, you know, creative process. But you have to be able to critique it yourself as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lenny's saying, I love Alex Ducal.
Oh, I'll have to check him out.
Ducal. I heard that before.
Happy to see you in here, Lenny.
Yeah. Tiago is saying, good job.
Thanks, Tiago.
Cool.
Let's see. I'm going to put some of the background elements in here.
Let's do this. And we have 39 minutes until the design feedback for your daily creative challenge. So make sure to submit so we can see your works.
Yes.
Make sure to submit to the Discord channel.
Okay.
Tima is mentioning the difference between the US and Russia and how during the Cold War, social realism was favored over the movements and the U.S. abstract expressionism. Okay. It was a cultural Cold War.
Huh.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah, the culture is very different, and the culture plays a big role on the design. Even if I compare Germany to the United States, you know, German design, German cars, it's very famous for its very precise engineering and, you know, attention to detail. And I think that was the reason why German design became so popular around the world, because, you know, the attention to detail kind of creates this really high quality product. And I think the design in Germany still is kind of very, very into detail, very minimalistic, and, you know, like the industrial design.
Yeah.
It's very, very on point and very sharp. While in the US, I feel like it's more experimental. People are a little bit more open-minded to, you know, crazy ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm doing here, there's a snap feature. I forget exactly what they called it, but if you draw a line and hold it, it will sort of snap it, and you can and rotate a little bit, which is pretty rad. So if you're doing straight lines, snap it.
Oh, so you have to wait for a second.
Yeah, give it a second, and then it'll snap. So basically what I'm doing with these lines is I'm want to draw a couple of rows of stars, and just want to sort of have a similar baseline to start and stop, so that they're not quite all over the place. Give a little bit of order to them. The lines aren't 100% perpendicular or parallel to one another, so I can lean a little bit into the rough palette and texture and grit. So change back to white.
Carbon is asking, Doc, how does the detail time spent on this piece compare to much of the work you usually take on? Is this quicker than you normally work, or about the same?
It depends on how much I want to get into the weeds. This is, I'm spending a little bit more time on background just to give a little bit more environment. On some of the pieces that I'll do, I will stick to more like flat backgrounds, like without, you know, just sort of leaving the texture and the red and the blue spaces, as opposed to going in and tweaking them up a little bit more. But yeah, this is pretty close to what normally happens. My workflow is typically a little bit more vector-based, but I didn't necessarily feel like that would lend itself as well as some of these textured brushes that are available in Fresco. So,
yeah.
But yeah.
Noor saying, while speaking about artists who inspire, she recently discovered, Noor, hopefully it's she. Let us know, are you a boy or a girl? Recently discovered Frida Kahlo, and her art is from another world. Yes.
100%.
I agree. Frida Kahlo was an experiment in person. Yeah. I think many artists, they express themselves in art, but they also live it. Like, they live the whole their life is art. You know, every second of their life is created, and, you know, it's creative actually and inspiring.
So I'm just gonna move those guides down a little bit more. Start at a second.
Nora's saying I'm a he. Good to know. Awesome. Sorry about that. But yeah, Frida Kahlo is amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
I think they sort of threw her some love in the Coco movie with that performing art.
Oh.
That was another gorgeous, gorgeous film that Pixar did, or Disney
Yeah.
Pixar.
I'm not sure if I have seen it. I think I've seen the trailer of it though.
Oops. And one of the other things I like about the lasso too is you can just sort of point, so you don't have to draw the entire time. Sometimes just forget it and old habits die hard with the Wacom tablet. I'll kick that over.
Hi Kelsey, thanks for your question. How much of your work is normally vector, and how does that change your workflow?
Like I said, being vector, I love doing vector work just simply because I can scale it. And
yeah, I agree.
Being one that never wants to be sort of set to, you know, the artboard that's created with the raster brushes. A lot of it started, honestly, a lot of it because of screen printing. I know a lot of screen printers, they all work in Photoshop because they can do a little bit more manipulation and work a little bit quicker. I liked it. For me, I was just more fluent in the Illustrator language as opposed to the Photoshop language. So I think a lot of it just is building shapes, and I use the pencil tool a lot in Illustrator, and basically to demonstrate here, I'll show you like if I was to draw the hair, you can sort of see it here. Let me turn off some of this stuff. So these hard lines here in the hair, basically I'm using the lash level brush, much like the pencil tool, where I would, where's that coming from? Sort of come in and build shapes this way.
Oh yeah.
Works a little differently with Fresco, but filling it with white on a white background, that's not gonna work. Also helps if you're on a colored layer.
Matthew's saying Doc is such a great guy. Stoked seeing him here.
Oh, what's up, Matt?
I love you.
Thanks, bud. So, oops. So, like I was saying, this is a lot of how I will do hair in Illustrator. Is just crafting it lines like that with the pencil tool. Here with Fresco and Adobe Draw, if you're familiar with that, I would use the basic taper brush, and oops, yep, it's gonna see it did that because it knew that I was using a vector brush. Both of these layers currently are raster, so when I select a vector brush, it automatically makes a new layer.
Yeah, vectors are always separated on a different layer, right? So you don't mix them up.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the danger of working with vector and pixel graphic, right?
Yeah. So with the vector brushes here, very often will revert back to my printmaking and just the lines again with helping the hair, especially with hair. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, this brush seems to be really good for hair.
And
the way you set it also, you set it so it's not too, it doesn't go too wide, right?
Yeah, you can come down here and do your settings palette, adjust the roundness if you want a super, like this one would be a lot, or very close to like a calligraphy brush. If I was just do that, it's squash the circle versus that.
Sure.
And a lot of times I'll put something in the middle somewhere so that there's a little bit of, as you're drawing, there's a little bit of nuance to the way that the pen will bend while you're drawing. Then if you adjust the angle, you also get some fun. So highly recommend going in and adjusting and playing with your brush settings.
Definitely. In any case, just try to discover new things. I always love to just go into the menu and see, play with it and see what I can do. Because apps, sometimes they have those functionalities that nobody even knew about, but they do exist. So, and Fresco is such a new app. I think it's really cool to experiment, with new technology and see what's there and what's possible.
Yes.
Awesome. Kelsey is asking, do you build shapes in Illustrator and then add texture in Photoshop?
Yes, a lot of times that'll be the workflow. One of the
Same
things I've started to do is create bitmap textures in Photoshop. Basically, go out, take a picture of concrete, export it in or import it into Photoshop, adjust the layers so you got your just highlights and your shadows, and then save it down as a bitmap. And when you do that, you can save it as a halftone or a dither. Play with it a little bit, and then
that's awesome.
Export it as a TIFF. And then you can import the TIFF at it's much smaller file size, and you can then color the TIFF in Illustrator to whatever you want. So if you're working with the blue and red in this case, you can just select the red, and it'll automatically turn that texture red. And then just becomes part of your...
Yeah, TIFF is a great file format. Also, if you're working with huge, very, very large files. Recently, I've been working on a file that was like, what was it, like 60 by 80 inch, I think. So it was pretty big. It was a print, and it was very sharp, a lot of pixels. So many pixels means takes a lot of space, and sometimes files can't even be saved on Photoshop. I think if it exceeds 2 GBs, you'll have trouble exporting it in like JPEG and stuff. So always like try to save it as a TIFF file. And a TIFF file you can also put the layers in, so you can continue working on the file.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's a really good format to save in for big files in Photoshop.
I also like that they'll give you the option to do a PSB, which is anything over 2 gigs.
Photoshop Big, basically, right?
Yeah, that's how I remember it.
Yeah, Photoshop Big.
I have no idea if that's the actual correct
I actually looked it up.
Is it? What's it?
Yeah.
Is that Photoshop Big?
Photoshop Big, yeah. It's a big file, that's why.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Big file. Yeah. Awesome, guys.
And again, the modifier that Rob told us about yesterday that's what this little button down here is called. If you hold that down, it basically will toggle between a drawing and an eraser brush. Just have to make sure you're on the right layer.
Yeah.
So.
Julie's saying, Abigail and Caroline are so proud of you and excited you're on TV.
I'm on TV.
Your husband is famous now.
I promise I won't let it go to my head. So I love drawing with my girls. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I almost thought so.
To say, one of the projects that I did, and I need to get back on it. My Coraline was going off to kindergarten. I would put daily sketches in her lunchbox. One, to just sort of help her get over the fear of going to school, give her something to look forward to at lunch, and just sort of turned into this thing. And honestly, I stole the idea from Lenny Terenzi that was in the chat earlier. He was doing that for his daughter as well, just as a way for them to connect through art. And even though that they were apart, that he was thinking about her, and pretty much it's exactly what I wanted to tell my girls when I'm away. So sometimes I'll leave them notes if I'm gonna be taking off on a trip. And sometimes if I've got a little extra time, can't always do 4 drawings to leave for my girls. So sometimes I just have to leave notes to say I love you.
Oh, that's so nice. Nasitalka is asking, oh yeah, I work on a book cover, as a book cover designer, and I have to do now HQ PDFs of front and spine, which is from Photoshop impossible to do. Well, there I would rather go to maybe InDesign and do book covers. I usually do InDesign.
As I say, I tag team. If it's going to be a lot of photo manipulation, like Kathleen was doing the last couple days with the daily challenge, start with Photoshop, build out the files there, and then have your template set up for page layout and whatnot.
Yeah, and you can also even connect the file into InDesign, so you can still edit it. And if as soon as you save it in Illustrator or Photoshop, it will be edited in or adjusted in InDesign. So
yeah, I love it. And the best thing about that is you're not working with the full resolution file. It's a saved down version, so InDesign will work a lot faster than it will if you're working it.
Yeah, there's options in InDesign. You can either show the full resolution or like the medium good or the worst one.
Yeah.
So you always have the opportunity to pick.
Yes.
I think it's under, if you right click and then right click on the image and then you go into image quality or desktop quality or something.
Yeah, I think it's display. Is it display quality?
Display quality, yeah. So, and there you can adjust the quality of the image as you want to see it on your work file. Sometimes, you know, when a computer is not that fast, it works faster when you don't show it in original quality.
Yes.
Yeah, we have 22.5 minutes until the Daily Creative Challenge deadline. So you guys make sure to submit. Of course, after the stream, you can still submit it and you'll get some awesome feedback from our chat. And you can still submit your artwork. But in 22 minutes, we'll be reviewing some of your work. Yes. So make sure to submit to the Discord channel. I'm really excited to that, as usual. There's always so much cool stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, Nasatalka is saying, yeah, InDesign is the main. I just like to crop the PDF in Photoshop, but InDesign is better.
Yes. Yeah, it definitely helps, for sure.
Yeah, for book, magazines, brochures, anything that has multiple pages, I would use InDesign.
Sometimes, like, I don't know if anybody else does this. Like, I was using the blue ink and then just switched over, or was going to start painting with the white. My brain said, switch to white, and so I thought I had done that, and then realized, oh, I started drawing with blue ink.
Yeah.
So again, this is just going through.
Yeah, Tima, submit your artwork. We'd love to see what you'll do. Tanya is asking, is saying it would be great to have some Fresco feedback as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Say that might be something that they'll be working on. Oh, I did those on the same layer.
Can you copy them into a different one?
I think so.
Yeah, Tanya, make sure to join our Discord channel. There you can get feedback on this channel, on the past channels, and I think there's just a general feedback channel. So, yeah, there will definitely be some helpful feedback, and it's a safe space. So,
yeah, everybody's
learning from everybody. So, don't be shy. Post your work,
and be specific about the feedback you're looking for too. As opposed to with Daily Challenge, there's a little bit of a creative brief that we all are sort of understand and aware of. But if you're just working on a freelance project or a personal project, supply some background context so that we can know if you're looking for feedback on typography, if the image is sort of locked up that the client had picked, said, I want you to use this picture that my daughter took. Sometimes you don't have any choice. But if you want specific feedback on whether the typography is working or the image or the composition, that definitely helps people be a little bit more helpful and constructive with the criticism as opposed to just trying to guess what it is that you're looking for. So,
yeah. Shivan, you can either submit your work right now so we can review it live on the stream, which is also good because you get direct feedback. But you can also submit it a little bit later if you don't have time now. You'll still get some feedback.
Yes.
Andre, welcome. Saying what's up. Good to have you here. Tanya, the link for the Daily Creative Challenge you can find on the tab over the chat window. So if you click on challenge, you can take the challenge, and there's the whole instruction of how to submit your artwork. Yeah. Awesome. Tanya is saying, I'm trying to change my workflow and start my product design sketching in Fresco. It's different though and not as arty. I wouldn't say it's not as artsy. Trying to change my workflow and start my product design sketching in Fresco. It's different though and not as arty.
Is that like product design, like for UX UI product design?
Maybe.
It might be better for XD.
Yeah.
If that's the
so
case.
if you want to make prototypes for let's say applications or websites, I would definitely try and experiment with Adobe XD. There you will have a really good setup for creating prototypes for product design. But if you mean product design as in industrial design, because I know in Germany product design is what I've studied, means actually industrial design. So it doesn't necessarily have to do with digital products. So if you mean industrial design sketching, you can do this either here. You can also do this in Photoshop. You can there's I think different applications that you can just find your brushes. I think it's very important because there is brushes that are more, they're more random and more artsy, but also you can make very straight lines and very minimalistic kind of, design that can be also technical design. So, yeah. Stone is asking, how do I take my photography and convert to use with Fresco on my iPad?
Are you looking to do photo manipulation on your photography, or are you wanting to use it as reference to build out some things?
Because if it's a reference, you can just put it inside a layer, and then you can put a new layer on top and sketch on top if you want to make like a sketch, like in this case. The right doc, you could have put the photo of Andrew underneath and then sketched on top of it.
Yep.
That would be possible too.
I'm saying the way you can do that, there's a couple ways. You can hit this little image icon here, pull it in from your camera if you've hooked it up directly to your Lightning or USB-C, depending on which model you've got. You can pull it if you've sent it to yourself through your camera roll, or if it's uploaded to your Creative Cloud account, you could pull it that way. One of the other ways you can do it is if it's in your photos already and you're working from a group, you can just sort of go, I want this photo here, and it'll add it eventually. So.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Just make sure to put it on the bottom layer, so when you sketch, you see what you're actually sketching, and then that will still work. Shivan is saying, since I'm more into 3D modeling, while I have some 2D concepts related to my 3D models, that will work for now? Yes. I definitely think it's important to pick your brushes, because these brushes look like, like paint, but there's also brushes that are vector brushes where you can actually modify them and they look way simpler. You can build shapes and then make shades so it looks three-dimensional. And then you can, of course, always add some like little artsy elements to make the image more appealing and more interesting.
Yes.
Because I feel sometimes, when you really do 3D rendering, not rendering, but like 2D concepts for 3D models, and you want to sketch them out, sometimes it looks too technical, and sometimes you want to kind of like spice it up a little bit. I think in Fresco it's really cool that you have those live brushes, that help you to get this little like artsy feel to your design. That can look very technical too. Yeah, so just experiment, find your ways.
So again, just pulling in some elements to give the background a little bit of depth or whatnot to it. I'm wondering if, oh, that's right, I put it in the wrong group. I'm gonna merge this down. Do you know how, if there's a way to select a layer and like in Photoshop, you can select, like I think it's Option or Control, you click on a layer and it will select everything. Do you know if there's a way to do that in Fresco?
Let's try. The right click and then...
I wonder if that's an option with the new pencil that I don't have access to. Mask layer content.
I'm not sure. If you guys know, let us know. So you wanna, what exactly do you wanna do?
I was looking to quickly change the color of these dots that I had done. So what I was looking to see about doing was, maybe I could do it with the select.
Yeah, possible.
Basically select these guys, and in Photoshop what you could do is just sort of select the layer and it would select everything, and I could just take the paintbrush, paint over top of them, like a clipping mask, I guess. But
can you make a clipping mask out of this layer? Maybe you could.
I don't see it. You can merge the layer to the group.
Merge. What was that you clicked before? I think it was right on the layer. Did you click on the layer? Oh no. What's that? Oh.
Cut
Look,
selection.
create a mask.
Create a mask.
Does it? Oh, this is from your selection.
Yeah, it creates it from the selection. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh well.
Let's see. Maybe we'll get there.
All right. I'm gonna merge these guys again.
Andre is suggesting make a clipping mask on top. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we were trying. Maybe if you don't select anything and mask the whole layer, does that work?
Create empty mask, mask layer contents.
Yeah, maybe that. Is it? I think it masked the dots now. Did it?
I don't know what it did.
Try to paint over it. Oh.
Interesting.
Look.
Okay, so the invert, it just basically used that selection as a mask, yes. I wonder if... I'm going to have to play with that.
If you paint over it, doesn't it only apply the color inside the selection?
Let's see. Flat mask. Where was that again? Flat mask. Lock. Oh, that's what it is. It's that lock transparency.
Oh, okay. There
Let's see if that does it.
Let's see.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
That's what it is right there. Okay. Unlock transparency and lock transparency.
Yeah. It's a forest. Everybody finds their own way, huh?
Yes.
Cool.
So.
Yeah, Agnes is saying lock transparency. Good.
Yes. Do you guys like the white dots or?
Yeah, let us know, white or red.
Red dots.
I think red. What do you think? I think the white ones have a lot of contrast, and it kind of like you would rather concentrate on Andrew's face instead, maybe. Don't you think? Yeah, that's also
Or all sort of mixed up, mashed up together.
That would be interesting too.
Let's see. I'm glad I love learning.
Yeah,
live with
that's
everybody.
what we're here for.
All right, let's see. Put a couple of those squiggles and whatnot in here.
Udaval is suggesting a bit of both, so a bit of red and a bit of white, which is, I think, very interesting too. Shivan is saying white is more positive color.
Is that from a contrast standpoint? Like you're able to see it a little bit better?
Kai is saying red. We could think of it like in terms of flow, where would the viewer look first? Probably on the stars in the background, right? And then towards Andrew's face.
Yes. Put another layer in here.
Shivan is also saying half red, half white. Yay. Oh wow, and we have only 8.5 minutes until the reviews of your guys' daily creative challenge submissions. Yay.
I'm excited to see what you guys are doing. What was talk to me about the daily challenge again?
So it was layer masks. Replace the background and alter the mood of an image using layer masks.
Ah, the mood. I'm excited to see what everybody does with shifting moods.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to just shift the color a little bit, sometimes it'll drastically change the look and feel of
True. Yeah, definitely.
of an image.
I feel like there's sometimes there is a subject and there is a story in the background. So you kind of try to connect those two, right? So the background kind of is a story behind the subject.
Yes.
So the background color can determine what kind of story you want to tell.
I wonder if a lot of that has to do with like color theory and things.
Yeah, probably. And maybe the detail that you find, you know, sometimes paintings have so much detail in the background, and the first thing you see is, you know, the subject, and then you kind of like try to take a look closer, and you always find like little details here and there that tell a further, you know, interesting story that you can connect to the subject. Awesome. Great. Tanya, we can give you some feedback afterwards if you want. If you submit it on other challenge, we'll take a look at it, I promise.
Yes. That's the nice thing about the daily challenges in the group is sometimes if you can't get it in on the deadline, but for this one, it can be submitted and looked at and reviewed for the next one.
Yeah, and we're still there. So I'm going to be there. Doc's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
We're all there, and we're happy to give some feedback. Today, though, when we review the Daily Creative Challenge, we'll be reviewing the today's challenges just so we have a comparison.
Yes.
But you guys can still submit your other artwork to other challenge or past challenges.
And this right now, what I'm doing is going to be adding a little bit more to the blue layers to try to give a little bit of a vignette of sorts, just to
help the viewer concentrate, focus, Awesome.
Sort of blur those lines a little bit.
MD Piash says, I want to learn background removal in Photoshop. That's exactly where the Daily Creative Challenge was about. So if you take a look at the replays, Kathleen was talking, she was here just before us. She was talking about how to remove backgrounds. So you can actually take a look at that past replay of the Daily Creative Challenge.
Yeah. Lots of helpful tips in there.
Yeah. Make sure to watch the replays on Behance. There's some really cool stuff if you have time. And 5 minutes until we review the designs. That is so exciting. Yay. This is looking great. I think it's good to add some like darkness on the edges, so it kind of pushes the viewer towards the center.
It's definitely enjoyable, having worked with the vector brushes so often, to get in with some of these raster brushes and just play a little bit more, as opposed to focusing so much on making it pristine and crisp with the vector brushes.
Totally agreed.
Yes.
Andre is asking if there's a chance to get access to your favorite brushes or to the brushes that you're using right now.
All the brushes that I'm using right now are either they're a part of the Fresco application if you've got the Creative Cloud subscription. If you don't, I think there's like a monthly subscription to the app that gives you access to all the brushes. Mm-hmm. But it does come preloaded with some pretty heavy lifting brushes. Mm-hmm. I'm not using anything that's custom to me. It's all baked right into Photoshop or Fresco. So everything here you've got access to.
Yeah, exactly.
And knowing that was sort of, I know everybody is always curious about brushes that are being used, and one of the things I wanted to do was make sure that I utilized the tools that everyone else had access to as well.
Yeah.
How are we doing on the countdown?
We have 2 minutes left.
2 minutes. Perfect.
Yeah, Andre is asking, just curious, which are your favorites so far?
I have to admit, I like the rake brushes. It's proven to be pretty fun to be able to get multiple lines with just one stroke. I like, here actually I favored some of them. So I like the Billigan comics, the Blake, the thick to thin, the brush pen. Those are more the ones that I'm using for harder lines, inking, mm-hmm. and then move into the pastel square and the big rough, or the rough pencil, I think was what I used to sort of get that grit of some of the stars.
There we go.
And then several of these rakes. I was using the rake grit, which was nice and gritty. And then the rake textured, and the big rake had several more lines. So.
Oh, I love that. See, that's the question from before, how you can make technical sketches in Fresco. So you actually have to pull the line and then wait a second, and then the line becomes kind of like something that you can easily control. It becomes very straight.
You can snap.
So you can snap, and you can make it very precise. You can make very precise sketches with that. Just pick a brush that's very, like very thin and maybe not too variable, so it looks more technical. Yeah.
So it looks
whoa!
like, I thought maybe it would snap it to a circle or
circle. Well, there is experimenting that has to be done.
Yes.
Awesome, guys, and we're gonna review some of your submissions.
All right.
And so excited! Yay!
Yes.
All right. Let's see this. So these 2 weeks, I think, are all about book covers. So yesterday we've been looking at some very surreal buildings and very surreal things, and today we're looking into how to editing backgrounds and making moods out of the backgrounds. So this one is by Tan, 2019. I'm guessing it's Tanya, maybe. Okay, so this one looks really cool, I think.
Yeah.
The contrast between this purple and these very warm tones in the background, I think really makes this person pop out, right?
I love how it looks like some of the image is inverted and some of the image is not, like, especially on the left side of her face, it looks like it's a regular, and then on the right side, it looks like it's been inverted. That always is a good way to make things a little bit eerie if the colors are inverted.
Yeah.
Where did that one start? Did we have an original of that one?
Unfortunately not. Not here. Oh yeah. Give it some likes. I see there's already likes coming. Yeah, cool. Me too. I like it as well. And this is how it will look like as a book cover.
Right on.
I love how there's how you added some noise here, so it really looks like a realistic print.
Yes.
Amazing.
One of the best ways I've found is if you're doing this in Photoshop, if you double click on the layer and it pulls up your layer palette menu, you can adjust sliders for the blend if section, and it'll pull out some of the highlights of your artwork to help it better blend along. Like if you add that with like a multiply on a white mock-up type of thing, it really will help take that last 10% and make it super believable.
There we go. Pro tips for you guys here. Awesome. Cool. Love it. I also love how the type is not just, you know, a color. It's really incorporated into the background and really fits, but also it has enough contrast to be readable. And you can see how how the type belongs together, so you really can see these two words carried away, read right after each other. And then the author name is a little bit separated, so you can see, okay, this is a different type of information. Yeah, I think this is a very great job. Good done, well done.
Very.
And this one is by Nazareth. Asylum.
Definitely gives me October vibes.
Yeah.
Halloween coming.
Gives me the creeps. Yeah, awesome. I really like how you incorporated the title here into the head or the face of the subject.
One of the things that, I don't know if anybody's familiar with the movie Event Horizon, but one of the things that they did is they slowly shifted the colors from the beginning of the movie that were more regular blues and whatnot, from normal fluorescent and spaceship lighting, to the end of the movie they had shifted the colors from the lights to emit more of a green and a yellow to help drive that emotion of like sick and foreboding type of a thing. So I was watching some of the behind the scenes that they said that was a trick that they did on purpose to help ramp up the feeling of being uneasy. And I see some of the yellow and the green sort of being predominant color in this asylum piece. So.
Yeah, it can be the lighting color, it can be the sound, and yeah, they're just playing with us so bad. They're playing with our emotions, huh?
Totally.
Awesome. I love how here the this little probably
got your signature.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's very minimalistic. I love it. It's the minimum of information, but you get all the necessary information, right? Really cool. I would like to know where this picture is coming from.
Yeah, is that an image that you took yourself?
Yeah, that would be really interesting. Cool.
So I know I will use Unsplash and Pexel images a lot as references and things of that nature if I'm in a pinch. But yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Is that one above it from yesterday?
Yeah, that one's from yesterday. We can take a look at
I
it as well.
missed that one. That's
well,
really
it came a little bit late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the clouds in that one.
Yeah, this smoky type of cloud. Yeah, love that. I love this color. It's amazing.
Right on.
Good job.
Are there more from today's challenge, or?
Yeah, there's more. Let's see if we have missed any. Oh yeah, here, day 3, Lolita.
Right on.
Yeah, it's interesting how you kind of, how you cut the letters into the image, right?
Yeah, I always love when images or the type knocks out to reveal an image behind it. Sometimes I also like running letters together with the L and the I. I'd be careful that it doesn't read as a U.
Exactly. I was just about to say that. I would maybe leave a tiny bit more space here, maybe even separate them, or maybe have a tiny connection like here, the T and A, you know, leave a little bit more space between them so it doesn't read as a U.
One thing that you could possibly, if that's a actual typeface, is adding a crossbar at the top and the bottom of the eye. That way it'll kick the eye out a little bit to the right, so it fills up a little bit of that space.
You mean like a little line up here and a little line up here? Or
with just sort of the crossbar going across the top of the eye, and then at the bottom,
right
that way
here
it'll
and
shift
right
that
here.
whole eye out to the
makes
right a
sense.
little bit.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Good
Right on.
job. Stululu.
Cthulhu.
Stululu.
Cthulhu.
Okay. Awesome. Let's check
Man.
out this.
Oh.
Let the right one in.
I love how combine that background. What's the before image of the woman in the trench coat? Just going up a
I
nice
think it's some
string.
kind of fashion image. Looks like fashion to me.
Being able to replace the texture on that wall to give it sort of that dilapidated, run-down vibe definitely helps push that sort of...
And this is the reference for
yeah.
the background.
I mean, look at all that distress on the wall and the cracks in the plaster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I love how you picked up some of the lighting that you see coming in from the right side there at the stairwell, how it's hitting the back of her jacket.
Totally. Yeah. Totally. Like, this image was modified a little bit in the back. There's definitely more light.
Yeah.
Awesome. Tara, good job.
Yeah.
Not sure about the color choice for the title and author. Need more contrast. I think this has been done really well. I would maybe work on the color of the subject a little bit, just because here there's a bunch of light coming in, and here the pen part is pretty dark, and her hands also, I think they would reflect more light, just like her face.
It's really good. It does look like a blanket shadow or a gray is sort of put over it, but if you put a layer mask on it and go back in and paint back some of the highlights on the back side of the trench coat, and then sort of, honestly, it looks like there's a similar lighting situation, so you can accent it just by going in and pulling out some of the highlights on the trench coat and the hands.
Just give it more contrast, accent the highlights.
Really well done.
Yeah, good job, Tara. Awesome. Ooh, we have Anna Karenina here. So this is the initial image, probably a fashion shoot as well.
Yeah.
And
Combined
this
with
is
the train.
background source.
Right
and
on.
this is the result.
I changed the color of the dress as well.
Cool. Oops.
Pumped up the saturation a little bit.
Let's see.
I would be careful with the vibrancy of that purple. It almost starts to read a little bit, the black and the purple sort of start to vibrate on those edges. So I might push it to a slightly less saturated purple and see if that will help fix some of that vibration in the colors where they're running up to one another.
And also here, there's tiny little details here inside the hands. I would maybe go a little bit more into detail when you're masking something, just because it's something very bright, and it's very, you pay a lot of attention to things that are very bright. So my eye automatically kind of went into this detail, and I saw that, like, it's not, it's not very precise. So yeah, make sure you have the details right. I'm here speaking for the German German designers.
Precision.
Precision, exactly.
Precision engineering.
Exactly. Otherwise, I think it's really cool combination of black and white, and then Anna Karenina is majestic in her blue or purple dress. Yeah, this is really cool. Love it. Good job, Veshmadu, I'm guessing. Cool. The Shining by Stephen King.
There you go.
This is the initial picture. And
Definitely.
this is the background.
Definitely helped with the mood of that movie. Nothing creepier than when your kids come walking around the corner and they just start saying red rum and have no context for it. Yeah. My oldest too loved doing that to me. I'm like, stop it. Stop. Just stop.
Cool. Love that. We have a place, like a little bar close to our house. And they have a bathroom, and on their door, so when you look into the mirror, you read murder. When you look onto the door directly, it says red rum. So it is a little creepy too. And fun. Good job, Sean.
Yeah.
Carrie. Wow, we have so many submissions here. That's awesome. Let's take a look at this one. Exposed.
Very cool. I love the duality of the foreground and background colored images, just that color overlay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love the color combinations also. You can see these two people, or maybe it's the same person, but it has two characters kind of maybe. So it also tells a story with color, you know. So I feel like red and white have very different images. Red is like passionate, maybe emotional, or yeah, it has this very deep meaning. And white is more innocent, more, right? It has a very different meaning, and showing the same person just in different color lighting can make a big influence.
Yeah, context will definitely help you decide color language and color theory. Say, it's funny, you'll have a red color, you can have it be passion and love, and at the other end of the spectrum you've got like hate and violence and blood type of thing. Two completely different emotions.
True.
But when you've got context of either body language from a figure like that or a title like Expose, it definitely will shift one way or the other.
I agree. Cool. Awesome. Great job, Kylie.
Leon, red is passionate like Doc's hair.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, man.
This is nice. I love the typeface here and how you gave it a little shine here.
Yeah, a little bit of
Glow.
outer glow, yeah. Favorite part of this is how you sort of cast the figure in shadows, but the little glimmer in the eyeballs, that's creepy.
Creepy.
Yeah, you did it. Definitely set the mood with that.
And I think this little geometric part here catches all the attention onto these eyes.
Yeah, it definitely helps set off the silhouette of the head. That was very, very well done. Design choice. I love how it follows the angle too of the trench coat. Just the whole upward angle.
There's
of
a
the
whole
body.
line here. And also, this helps you follow kind of like a reading guideline, reading of information. So you start here, you go down, you read Carrie, then you go down, you read Stephen King. So the information flow here is just amazing. I love it. Maybe I would make this side a tiny little bit darker. Just a tiny little bit, but otherwise I think it's amazing.
Yeah,
Good
really
job.
well done.
Good job, Kathleen. Of course, Kathleen. The pro.
I'm gonna have to give you a high five for them creepy eyes.
Yeah, right. Cool. This is from yesterday. Also very interesting. With a building.
I love what you can do with the geometric shapes of the cross sections of things when you're cutting them apart.
3 images became 1.
Wow.
Good job.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out where the face went, but it's in the
inside
buildings. Yeah.
These parts. Yeah, still.
Very, very cool.
Interesting. Good job, Leah Michelle. All right. Let's go down here where we stopped.
You guys were busy today.
Yeah, I'm very surprised, and I'm happy that you guys did so much work. The chilling adventures of PSDCC October Challenge. Woo! Awesome. This is really cool. I like it. I like how you highlighted these the important information. All the creepy stuff is in color, right?
Yeah.
Colors like red, black and white, and then this typeface definitely makes it look super creepy. Cool. Good job. This one was done by Danny.
Right on, Danny.
Okay, let's see what else is here.
Oh, man. Oh, that eyeball is amazing. That is great.
Yeah.
Again, I love the focus running off the book edge. Great job. I love this. This is a gig poster right here. Total gig poster. I love the texture in the background and how the mood just by replacing the face with the eyeball.
Yeah. It reminds me of the other book we saw yesterday.
Yeah.
With the typeface. It might have been the same person.
Is this the same person?
Not sure. Sharp Bubble. Let's see. Maybe I'll find it. That would be interesting to see if that's the same person. That would be cool because then you definitely have some kind of style. You know, cutting
consistency in the series.
Whoa! There have been so many submissions.
Oh man. Lots of stuff you guys have been putting in.
So cool. Amazing. Let me see if I can find it still. So many images. Wow.
Everybody's been busy cranking on these.
Yeah, definitely.
Does it work that everybody that's doing these, does it sort of line up with lunchtime that you're able to crank these out during a day job type of a thing? Or
yeah,
are we
it
all
would be interesting to
freelancers
know.
or students?
How long does it take?
I'm impressed. Like most of the time I've only got like an hour and a half type of a session by the time you get the creative challenge, and then when it's due or up for review. So
yeah, I don't know. It's so far up.
Yeah.
I can't scroll there, but we'll check it definitely later. I'm very curious. Okay, cool. This one is also nice.
Yeah, I love the heightened contrast, almost posterized. Love the figure breaking through the type. It almost, honestly, that one, if you squint your eyes a little bit, I get a blade sort of shape from the figure, which plays right into Carrie.
Wow, yeah, that is true. I also see a blade, like a knife.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the handle.
Yep, you've got the blood red lettering in there.
I also love the little elements here. Like you left a little blood on the hands and on the face. Definitely very creepy.
Well done.
Good job, Slowpoke. Asylum, we have seen that one.
Man.
Wow.
Politics and above science.
This building is taking off.
The Washington Monument is now part of the NASA space program.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Very
Super
clever.
Cool. Love it. Good job by Ken. And the last but not least, by Deklar.
Love some double exposure.
Yeah, this is really cool. Very interesting, definitely. I love how this, there's a tiny little detail. Maybe I'll clean this up a little bit just so that it's smooth, so it's not that pixelated.
Yeah.
Otherwise, really good job masking and putting things together. Amazing. Maybe you can add a title here as well. There's some white space. Or maybe take some very minimalistic type, right?
Yeah. I say Joe Cavazzo does some amazing work with combining and cutting out. Well, Kathleen showed yesterday some of the masking features where you can go in and paint in to get a more refined edge.
Yeah.
In yesterday's daily creative challenge. So
yeah, check it out on our replays. Kathleen gave some really good tips.
Space Force. Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for your submissions. You've been great. And later on, I promise I'm gonna take a look at others. Tanya, submit your stuff. I'll give you feedback, or we'll give you feedback.
Yes. I like Leon says we do this stuff on the clock.
Yeah. So let's get back to our project real quick. And now we almost, unfortunately, running low on time for today, but
5-10 minutes or whatnot. Is there anything that anybody's got questions about or wants to see pushed a little bit further? I'm wondering if I'd have to kill the background if we wanted to try to work in that eagle. I might do that and post it up here after we're done. You can check it out on Behance or whatnot.
Oh yeah, definitely. Make sure to follow Doc on Behance. His profile should be linked next to the chat window, so or somewhere below probably. So
yeah, stay tuned. I'm sure I'll get it up there.
Yeah. Cool. I think this is looking really great, and I think it works perfectly with Andrew's campaign.
Yeah.
Right? Let us know, guys, if you have any questions. We have a couple minutes left to answer some of your questions. Yes. If you have anything specific, the more specific, the better.
Yep.
Sure.
Very true.
Tima is saying, thanks for feedback. He's Sharp Bubble. Yeah.
Okay.
And he did the Walking Lighthouse yesterday.
Okay.
So good. I knew
Yes.
it. Cool. Leon is saying Andrew for president 2020.
Yes.
Agreed. Cool. So what's left? What would you add onto this portrait?
I might just go back in and maybe touch up, refine a little bit, or some of the details in the eyes. I think for me, eyes are what will sell a piece.
Mm-hmm.
I always try to look people in the eyes
Mm-hmm.
when we're talking, just to make contact,
Mm-hmm.
and that'll probably be where people will generally look for either portraits or illustrations of figures. So probably we'll do a little bit more tightening up of the eyeball, and some of the iris detail and things of that nature with the spectral highlights and
Mm-hmm.
things.
I think it already looks very great.
But
Looks awesome.
But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out. I'm stoked everybody was able to tune in, help me with some of the ideas. Do you think we should do another one and do the eagle in the background sort of as an overlay?
Yeah, why not?
Put it in the chat and let me know. Work up a second one
Yeah.
here before too long.
That would be cool. And Marcella is asking, do you ever use another tablet to draw or always an iPad?
I've got a Wacom Intuos Pro that I will use to do photo retouching.
Mm-hmm.
General photo retouching I will do where I'm drawing here, looking at a computer screen.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that for several hours like this, my neck just gives out and I want to lay on the floor with a pool noodle under my neck to make it so that my neck doesn't have a crick in it. But if I'm doing some fine detailing and things of that nature, I'll pull out AstroPad
Mm-hmm.
and connect it to the iPad and do some quick retouching and then jump back to the Intuos
Mm-hmm.
tablet. But yeah, it's go back and forth.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Awesome, Doc. It was so good to have you here.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed hosting you. And you guys, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you next time. And yeah, make sure to stay tuned for the XD Daily Creative Challenge right after this. And then we have another XD stream. So XD, I think, is always a good tool, to design stuff. There is also, yeah. There we have the schedule. Yeah, we started off with Caitlin, and it's us, and then
Peter Del Tondo's up next.
Yeah, exactly.
Bringing the XD
challenge.
wisdom.
Yeah, and then Kevin Lee will be designing his flower shop app, which is really cool and exciting. Again, thank you guys so much for joining, and have a good rest of your day or night. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.